The other thing is when they hear that the ingredients come from my backyard garden in Pflugerville, they get even more excited about it, right? Because they're like, well, it's not just, they're not just ordering some bulk vegetables from somewhere. This is literally coming from his hand. And I start everything from seed, and I grow these plants all the way from the ground up. People come over and they check out my garden and see what it's all about too, because I always want to show it off and then talk about, hey, this is where it all starts, and it goes from here.
Welcome back to Launching Pflugerville podcast, where we interview startups, entrepreneurs, and business leaders who are starting to shape Pflugerville's future. My name is Adam Maxon. I'm marketing communications for PCDC, and today we are interviewing David Neff, who has turned a hot sauce business, I don't want to say hobby. Was it a hobby, guys?
It was a hobby, yeah.
Hot sauce hobby into a hot sauce business.
Yep, that's right. Thank you for having me.
Tell me a little about yourself and your business.
Yeah, so a little bit about me. I am a Pflugervilleite, I guess you could say. Pflugervillian, right?
There you go.
I went to Pflugerville Middle School and high school, so grew up here, and then after college, made my way back to Pflugerville, and have been here ever since. By day, I am a marketing consultant, but I'm slowly venturing over to the hot sauce side of the world. So that is what I'm doing now. It all started as a hobby, and it slowly turned into PepperDave'sHotSauce. And I have really enjoyed creating this business, and that's what brings me here today.
Very cool. So what inspired you to start a hot sauce company, and when did you know that it was more than just a hobby and you could turn it into a business?
Yeah. So really, it was just experimenting with it, right? So I started experimenting, playing around with it, enjoying everything about it. And then when I was sharing it with friends and family, that's kind of the moment I knew it could actually become something more. I was getting rave reviews. People were just loving it, and they kept saying, hey, you got to start selling this stuff. So, that's where all this kind of picked up and the business started.
Very cool. I know you gave me some, and I absolutely love it.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
That's right.
All right. Well, take us back to the very beginning. Okay. What were the first days like?
First days. So, I could take you back to the very beginning, if you'd like. So it all started actually with a garden in my backyard, right? I grew up, my dad had a small garden in the backyard, and I remember we used to eat peppers. He would just pull jalapenos straight off the vine. We just take bites of those things and enjoy the flavor, and also feel the pain of the peppers, right? And since then, I've always kind of wanted to start a garden in my backyard. Didn't know when, how, what to do with it, but I just kind of pulled the trigger a few years ago, and I said, hey, let's try this. And I started growing peppers and tomatoes, things along those lines. But where all this kind of started was I just had too many peppers, and I didn't know what to do with them. A friend of mine said, hey, make some hot sauce. And I never even thought about that, but jumped into it, started making hot sauce. Really enjoyed everything about it, from the process to just seeing the smile on people's faces when I gave them a bottle. And that's really that's the beginning of all of this big venture that I'm in now.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. So what are some challenges that you faced at the very beginning, as far as, was it bottling, was it growth? And then tell us a little bit about challenges you're facing now, where you've been doing it for about a year now.
Yep.
Correct?
Yep.
So
it was, you kind of touched on it a little bit. Some of it was really the equipment, right? So I just started with what I had in my house, small pots, a cheap blender, right? And that's when I realized that it was taking a long time to make the sauce. I could only make really small batches. And then I started investing a little bit in better equipment, doing my research, finding better ways to improve the process. So just to give you an example, I have a hot sauce called Smoke Show. I have to smoke all the peppers, and I have to do everything from blending, cleaning the peppers before all of that, cooking it, bottling, labeling, right? That took almost a whole weekend every time I made a batch. I wanted to cut that down a lot, so I overcame that by essentially getting better equipment, refining my process, and now it only takes maybe 8 hours to do it, which is still a bit of time. It's a full day, but it's, like I said, I really enjoy the process, just didn't enjoy the amount of time it took sometimes.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So when did you realize, when you were making the hot sauces and giving them out, when was it an aha moment for you? It was like, I could turn this into a business.
Yeah. So really when that came about was after the experimenting phase and handing out bottles here and there, what I did was I made 30 boxes of what I called the Pepper Dave Trio, which I brought here with me today. And it's all 3 of my sauces. And I started giving them out to friends and family for Christmas. I got great feedback from it. And everyone was like, maybe you should sell this. And it got me thinking. And everything just kind of took off from there. I just said, let's do this thing. I just hopped right into it and started turning it into a real business.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
All right. What has been one of your biggest milestones so far?
I'd say the biggest milestone would probably be when I launched the website, because that sort of made it official. Getting that out there, and honestly, putting that together was just so much fun. The design work, trying to think of the best way to put it in front of people and tell them my story, right? Mm-hmm. And that's really what I was hoping would bring people in, was to learn a little bit about my story, what got me started with it, and how I approach making hot sauce, and really what I'm after there. So that was the moment when it launched. I was like, this thing is real. It's official.
Nice. What was the most surprising aspect of starting the business or running the business?
Yeah. Most surprising thing? Well, there's probably a few, but all the business aspects of it, right? Because when you're just making hot sauce, you're just making hot sauce. It's fun, right? But then I had to get down to the nitty-gritty stuff, and that was really more along the lines of how much am I spending for all the materials? Mm-hmm. And then how much do I sell a bottle for if I'm spending this much to make a bottle? Yeah. This much time for all the materials that go into it. And then along those lines, because I'm trying to make a shelf-stable product, I have to keep a log of everything. So every time I make a batch, I got to put the exact ingredients down, and I need to record all this stuff so that if it's ever looked at by anyone, they can say, oh yes, you're following the right rules and guidelines to hand out shelf-stable hot sauce. So things like pH are really big. I got to make sure the pH levels are below a certain threshold. If not, they're not going to stay fresh. The levels are, or the sausage just isn't going to stay very long. So I wanted to make sure that all that stuff was correct. So I have a log that I keep of everything, and honestly, just the time it takes to put all these little things together that you don't think about, from marketing materials to prepping to make a new batch of hot sauce. It's a lot that goes into it, but really, since I love it and I love doing it so much, it doesn't seem like work. It seems like fun.
That's awesome. That's so cool. What makes your hot sauce different than all the others on the shelf right now?
Yeah, that's a fair question. That's actually kind of one of the things, that was my big focus was, I've tried a lot of hot sauce before, and I always found a few things that I just didn't jive with me, and maybe turn other people off from hot sauce too. And one of those being, I wanted to make it fun, right? So a lot of hot sauce, it seems too serious. Like they're trying to say, how hot can I get this? Yeah. Right? And for me, I was like, I want the heat, but it's all about the flavor. So that was really my focus. I wanted a really good, unique flavor that people could put on anything. And then what goes along with that is trying to make sure that, people that maybe wouldn't normally have hot sauce, that to bring them into the hot sauce world, right?
Yeah.
Because a lot of times they're just like, oh, this is too hot. This is too vinegary, right? Things like that. So I wanted to make a variety. So I've got 3 hot sauces, and one is really mild, really easy for those people that maybe don't like super hot things. And I got one that's more of a medium level. And then I've got one that is a little bit on the hot side. So I wanted to, just encapsulate all those things, all the different things people look for in hot sauce, and try to bring it to the 3 hot sauces that I make.
Very cool. Now, do you have a favorite?
It's actually changed over time. My first one that I made was Smoke Show, and that's the one where I do smoke all the peppers, I char everything, very long process, and I loved that one to start with, and everyone else did too. Then I started making Greenhorn, and Greenhorn is my very mild hot sauce. It does have some jalapenos in it to give it a little spice, but it's mostly tomatillo based.
Okay.
And so with that one, I've really started leaning towards the Greenhorn more, and a lot of other people have too, because it's really versatile. You can just put it on anything, really. And if you're looking for some heat or no heat, it kind of fulfills both of those things. So
just full of flavor.
Yeah, it's all about the flavor, right? So that's kind of where I started leaning.
Awesome. What marketing strategies have you, besides the website, have you done to get your name and your brand out there?
Yeah, for something like hot sauce, the best type of marketing is really grassroots, right? So it's word of mouth. And a lot of my business comes from friends and family that received my first hot sauces for Christmas, right? So they started telling their friends and extended family. So I had more people reaching out about that. Now, while the website is great, I don't get a lot of just direct traffic to it. It's more about people telling other people, hey, visit the website, check out the products, and see what you think.
Yeah.
So that's really the best way to market and sell a product like this, and that's where I've had the most luck.
That's awesome. So what has being an entrepreneur taught you?
It's taught me a lot about myself. One, that if I have a passion, I can really turn it into anything. If it wasn't a big passion of mine, it wouldn't go very far, right? I have to enjoy it. It takes a lot of time. I've got a lot of other things in my life, from family to my day job. So, in order to really get all this going and create a business that's going to sustain itself, I got to enjoy this for a long time.
Yeah.
So that's something, it taught me about myself, was just, if you really want to do something and enjoy something, you can do it. Before this, I didn't really have anything like that. So it's really taught me a lot about who I am and what I want to do in life. Just made me a better person, honestly. It sounds kind of funny, but hot sauce has made me a better person.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, do what you love, right?
That's right. Yep.
So what words of advice would you give somebody who is just starting off or has an idea, wants to start something either like this or something else? What advice would you give them?
Yeah, well, I kind of just touched on one of them a little bit, and that's like, if you don't have a passion for what you're doing, it's not worth it, right? So if you do want to start a small business, find something you're passionate about. You're really going to have trouble talking to people and selling your product or service if you aren't passionate about it, right? So start there. That's the ground level. From there, it's also about exploring what you can do with your product or service. This is something that a lot of people just say, oh, I want to do this, and they just go with it without doing some market research, right? Finding out what else is out there. How can I differentiate myself from what else is out there?
Yeah.
So that was something that I even did. I actually I found a bunch of hot sauces around the Austin or Pflugerville area. I even ordered some from different parts of the United States, trying to get an idea of what other people are doing and how can I make my hot sauce different? How can I make it speak to people so it doesn't just fall in with all the other hot sauces?
Yeah.
So I'd say, that's some pretty big key advice. Of course, there's a lot of other little things, but those are big things. You're not going to grow a good business if you're not passionate about what you're doing.
I totally agree. I mean, entrepreneurship itself is hard. I mean, a lot of times, like you're doing a full-time job while you're starting your side business. And that right there adds so many more hours to your day.
Yep.
And if you're really not passionate about it and you're just trying to start something, I've seen a lot of people just get burnt out because it's like I like it, but I'm not in love with it. And so it's more work now.
Yeah, and it shouldn't feel like work. It shouldn't feel like stress. It should feel like fun. You should look forward to the end result of whatever you're trying to achieve instead of it feeling like I just got to get there,
Exactly.
But yeah, hit the nail on the head there.
That's very cool. Very cool. What is one of your biggest mistakes you've made that taught you a lesson on what not to do in the business?
Yeah. I mean, because everything grew so organically, if I look back now and I think about what a big mistake is, I can't think of a big one, but there's a lot of little ones. Like I mentioned, this all started with growing peppers in my garden. I started really getting into all the making hot sauce, but then I realized once I ran out of the peppers from my garden, the peppers I needed to make my hot sauce were hard to find, right? So I've already started correcting that mistake a little bit. This year, my garden grew triple the size it was last year, mostly focusing on peppers specifically for my hot sauce.
Nice.
Now, some of the bottles I've had to use peppers I bought from HEB, right? And they make fantastic peppers, but it's different. You don't know what you're getting a lot of the times. I'm always looking for a certain color or a certain heat. And I have more control of over that within my garden itself. So I've started to fix this issue already. And the idea is this year, I'm going to have plenty of peppers to get me to the next summer. I just freeze them. They're fantastic frozen. And I've got everything stocked up and ready to go for next year.
That's so cool.
Yep.
Awesome. All right. So what does success look like for you, say 2 or 3 years? What does success mean?
Yeah, that's a great question. And it's a hard one to answer because, like I said, like a lot of this just started as a hobby and a passion. The business side of it is still new for me. And, a lot of times I think how amazing it would be in 2 or 3 years to be able to leave my day job, open up my own store, and really focus on this full time. That would be an amazing outcome from all of this. Now, I'm not putting every little thing I have into that right now because I still need to make sure that I am financially good, and the hot sauce is selling, but it's not enough to put food on the table at this point, if you will. So that would be the ultimate goal and hope is that within 2 or 3 years I could actually make this a sustainable business, leave my day job, and just enjoy building it from there.
That's excellent. Excellent. So tell us how we can get a hold of the hot sauce. Are you got any markets? Or you said you have the website?
Yeah.
How can people get a hold of you?
So website, number one. Right now I do pickup orders. So if you order on the website, I'm happy to, if you're close around the area, I'm happy to deliver it to you. Or you can come and pick it up locally, right? So Austin area, Round Rock, Pflugerville, any of those places, I'd love to have you stop by and pick up some hot sauce. The other thing that I'm just starting to do is it's called the Pecan Street Collective. And think of it as a farmer's market of sorts, but it's also driving business to downtown Pflugerville. And there's a lot of small businesses around there we want to support. And by with me and other people setting up booths around the area, we can actually bring everyone in the community together. Now, that's something I'm going to start doing the beginning of August, and I'm doing that through November. And it's going to be the first Saturday of each month. And I'm getting everything ready for it right now. I was very unprepared, but I'm starting to put everything together for that. I'm very excited. And like I mentioned before, the hot sauce sells the best when I can talk to people about it. It's all grassroots. I want people to be able to taste it, try it. So that's another great way to get involved and learn more about my hot sauce.
Very cool. Are you going to set up sample tables at the collective?
Yeah, that's the idea. So I'm going to have some samples, some little tiny spoons for the really hot stuff, because I don't want people taking big spoonfuls of that. And yeah, I'll have some samples there. I'll have a little bit of merch. People are welcome to stop by, check it out. If you're not even interested in hot sauce, come check it out. Just let's talk about it. There's even if you're not interested, you may find something that is the right fit for you.
Nice. So how has Pflugerville community helped you and your business?
Yeah, that's actually a really good question. Well, one of the things is, we're doing it right here, right? So, Pflugerville has started learning about my hot sauce, inviting me to talk about it, like I'm doing here with you today. Another thing is really just, it's friends that I have in Pflugerville. My son has a lot of friends, and they've got a lot of parents that I can talk to about it.
Nice.
And that's where a lot of my sales have actually come from, is just talking to people in Pflugerville, people at different events. I may even run into a random person at the grocery store and just start talking to them about hot sauce, and they get interested in it. So
that's very cool.
That's what's really unique about this, is that people always seem to perk up when I talk about it around the Pflugerville area. They just seem to really enjoy it. And the other thing is, when they hear that the ingredients come from my backyard garden in Pflugerville, they get even more excited about it, right? Because they're like, well, it's not just, they're not just ordering some bulk vegetables from somewhere. This is literally coming from his hand. And I start everything from seed, and I grow these plants all the way from the ground up. So it's really been a great thing. And sometimes I have people come over and they check out my garden and see what it's all about too, because I always want to show it off and then talk about, hey, this is where it all starts. And it goes from here into a bottle. Very cool.
Well, I hope you come join some of our PCDC events where we showcase entrepreneurs and startups in October, and we'd love to see you there.
Thanks. Really appreciate it. Thanks, Adam.
Well, I really appreciate you coming on the show and telling us about your experience.
Yeah,
and
thanks.
I look forward to tasting more of your hot sauce.
Thanks. Appreciate it. Thank you for having me so much. Appreciate it.
Anytime.